Right, what's up, everyone? So, yeah, we see some guys from Cape Town. What's up, KB? Osman, good to have you guys on, as always. Yeah, so we got we got some nice trading coming up. I had a nice pre-market stream with the guys, and yeah, looking forward to the session. So we are holding overnight VWAP at the moment. Again, I went over my trades. If you want to go rewatch that pre-market stream, make sure to go check that too. But I was going over my trades there that I took yesterday on ES, the loss, and then NASDAQ, the winner, putting me green on the day. But we are moving higher here pre-market, and this is just keeping me wary at the moment over here. If we get back above 7K, that would be interesting. But good to have you guys on. We'll let the guys come in. Andre's going to join in a minute, and then we'll take it from there. There we go. Andre's joining.
Yo.
What's up, brother?
What's up?
How you doing today?
I have a feeling after yesterday's garbage price action,
Today could be big.
today could be a good day.
Nice. Yeah, I those NASDAQ shorts worked out nicely for me, bro, that I took yesterday with you. Yeah. Just messaging the boss here, Sabine. Perfect. Yeah. Anyone got any thoughts in the chat? Let me know. But yeah, I do agree with you, bro. Yesterday was pretty boring. Like for most of the session, yes, we bounced hard pre-market, but I mean, yesterday's range on ES was literally until the last bit was literally 22 points, bro.
Yeah.
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 What's up, Anthony? Mark. Does OPEX factor in today? It's just always tentative, right? So I don't really. Yeah, it's always shows as tentative, but I guess it could, for sure. What are you liking this morning, André? I like the sell-off, bro. I must say, but let's see.
Let me
yeah, let's bring up your screen.
Yeah.
I think this week's been pretty good, bro. On Monday we had nice YM longs, and then yesterday I had the NASDAQ shorts with you on stream too.
Yeah. So the week is like pretty much flat. So weekly context, not great. We've been like in a range for a minute now. Like right now we're sitting at the same exact price as we were on December 5th. And let me go to like a 4 hour here. Like we've been in a range for a pretty long time. I'm not a trend line guy, but like ballpark, something like this. We've been sitting in a range like this for a minute, even if you want to put it here. But even if you look at price action here, like the majority of the price action has been in this box.
Yep, I agree.
I don't know how much longer it's going to stay in that box, obviously, either to the upside or to the downside. But zooming in for a second to a 30-minute, looking at this week, which is right over here. High of the week is on Tuesday, low of the week is on Wednesday. Let me pull up edgeful quick so we can see some of the stats there.
Let's have a look.
By the way, guys, templates are out.
Yes.
I'm going to make a video on that, obviously. But templates are out. You can access the templates you have for the current report you're on over here. You can save a new template right over here. You can also access the templates for the report you're on here, and you can go to all templates right over here, so you can automatically jump from the gap fill report to the opening candle continuation report with a 30-minute customization already set by the time you get there. So
Yep.
really reducing the number of clicks. We want to make this site as easy as possible for you guys to navigate. So I just wanted to highlight that. But what I want to look for here is the high and low by weekday. On NQ, which is what I'm looking at here. Across any week in the last 6 months, the high of the week has been on the Friday, and also the low of the week has most often been on the Friday. So what I like to do is I will go to the sub-report. I'm sure this is really small. So what I want to do is go to the sub-report, look at the bi-weekly candle.
Just sorry to interrupt, André. Just make sure it's coming through the right sound.
Oh my god!
Yeah, I was listening. I was like, "What? He doesn't sound like this yesterday."
Is that better?
Yeah, much better, much
All
better.
right, good. God, I hate that. I wish I could set a default so I don't have to do that every time.
It's weird that yours changes. Mine always goes to my default. So,
well, I have these headphones in because I gotta put like some sound like.
Dude, you got to get one of those.
Panels.
You got to get one of those headsets, like the old stockbrokers,
Yeah,
like
with
on
the
Wall Street.
with the mic.
Yeah,
like
with
this.
yeah, exactly. But yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
No, you're good. So here we're looking at like a marginally green week. If you're looking from the open of the New York session, currently it is barely green. Obviously, this will depend. Like the price action today is going to depend on whether today is going to be, this week will be green or red. But if we go back for a second, on green weekly candles, almost 70% of the time, the high of the week is made on the Friday. If this plays out, that would mean that we would expect the move to here, right? That would reclaim the high made on Tuesday, Friday being the high up here. That would be the move that we would look for. Now, if we're looking at red weekly candles, 72% of the low is made on the Friday. So the other side of that coin is, where am I? Here. From here, the move that we would need to have for this stat to play out this week, which obviously doesn't have to, would be a 423-point move to take out Wednesday's low. Pretty big move. I don't know if it'll take out Wednesday's low. I am for sure expecting it to take out yesterday's range because this range was tiny. But there's that as it relates to the weekly, the high and the low of the week. So going from the furthest out to the closest in. Now, inside bars, one of my personal favorite reports. I'm gonna go to the buy open. I'm actually gonna.
Yeah, that's also that. I want to speak a little bit about that. There's two reports that I want to speak about. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So standard inside bars on NQ. 80% of the days that opened within yesterday's range broke out of yesterday's range. 80%. Where is yesterday's range? You put on your ultimate reversal setup indicator, and you can see the previous session, New York session high and low, right over here with these red lines. So the ultimate reversal setup indicator will always plot the previous session's high and low with the red, the gap fill with the blue, and the midnight open with the yellow. You can have labels, you can customize it. Obviously, everything is right here. I'm going to leave it as is right now, but I am absolutely expecting price to either go here or here. These are the profit targets right over here. Previous session high, previous session low. Absolutely, I'm expecting that. Also, we have 5 more minutes until the market opens. I am definitely expecting this midnight open to be hit today. The gap fill, if we look, is roughly 0.5%. If we go to gap fill by size. Okay, gap fill stats not fantastic here, specifically on NQ. Yeah, gap fill stats not great. So I would need a little bit more confirmation to the downside to take this move down here, but this is kind of the logic. I absolutely want to expect either here or here to be taken out. I also think here will be taken out for sure. If we go to the ICT open, I'll go to the buy size report. I mean, we're looking here at 0.1 pretty much. Very, very, very high probability that we're going to touch this yellow line after the market opens. To be clear, we need to wait for the market to open. You can jump into the reports you want to talk about. I'm going to get my coffee, so I'll be right back.
Yep.
But
so I spoke about a few reports here pre-market. Let's remove Andre's screen. So I spoke about a few reports. One was the inside bars day yesterday. I did speak about that on stream with André too. But let's speak about that inside bars, right? So currently we are trading as an inside day on the ES. Previous day's highs is up here at 7017. Okay, 017, and previous day's lows is down at 949. That's quite a big range. We are trading it as an inside day. I typically don't do great on inside days personally. That's just me personally. And same on the NASDAQ, right? But let's speak also about the opening week range report. I know this is quite a nice report. I did speak about this pre-market, but I'm going to repeat it. The opening week range report. So on the NASDAQ in the last 6 months, after Monday and Tuesday sets on high and a low, we don't double break often. So if we break one side, after Monday and Tuesday set, the high and low from there, we typically like to trade in that direction. So I'm going over the opening week range report, André. This is something that when I used to trade currencies back in the day, I think I also requested this report as well. I might have.
I think you might have, actually. You did the previous days range. You did for sure.
I did previous days range. I'm not too sure. I think I did also mention this report as well. Speak about it too, because it's something that I used to use quite often, and I still do use in my trading. But basically,
you also did. Sorry to interrupt. You also the Asian range breakout.
Correct. Yes, which I still enjoy. I still like it.
Yeah.
But let's speak about this opening week range report. So basically, what this report tells us is after Monday and Tuesday's high and low have set, which you can see it's filled in here in the fill. Okay, there's the high, there's the low. Once we break one side, which was the downside on Wednesday, very rarely do we double break the top side. I think the stat was only like 33% of the time.
Yeah.
So that's why I really liked the shorts yesterday on these indexes at or near the edge of that box, because very rarely do we, only 63% of the time, 67% of the time, we won't do that. So yeah. I really like that. And we had an opening candle continuation being bearish yesterday. So I think maybe if we don't take these highs here, I definitely think that we could maybe roll over back towards the lows. And maybe even if we get a big flash out, a low of week, that would be great.
That would be great, honestly. I've said this before. I don't know why, but I much prefer the shorts. I much prefer taking shorts. You know what else, which I've now confirmed with data.
What's that?
I'm going to show you one sec.
Let's get it up there. We got the open here in 16 seconds, by the way, guys.
All right. Let me just show you one sec.
Like that. Let's get your screen up.
Okay. This is the IB by levels report. I've updated and it's 9:30, by the way. I just want to have this up so you guys can see. But pretty much, I've changed the settings here, the customizations, to be 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, whatever, going to 0.8, right? So 80% of the initial balance, whatever else. If you guys want to know what this report is, it's the initial balance breakout by levels on NQ in the last 6 months. If you guys want to know the details, go down here, watch this explainer video. We also have a indicator that will plot each of these levels for you every single day. So be aware of that. But what this does is it's telling me for days that only break to the top side of the IB, how often does price actually reach each of these levels? So if we look at the 0.8 and we look over here at 0.6, 0.7, 0.8, we're looking at less than 40%, 39, 35, 22. Now let's go to the bearish side, right? 0.8, 0.7, 0.6, 44, 42, and 38. That's a pretty big difference on the continuation for the moves to the downside, right? So let's do that again. I'm going to go back to bullish. What are the percentages here? Give me a second while this loads. How's the load speed been for you, by the way?
How's the?
Load speed.
Load speed. It's been pretty good today. I haven't had any issues. It hasn't been taking
Okay.
its time. Like if I go here, like to report, like look at
Yeah.
that loading, couple seconds.
Okay. So look at 0.6, 0.7, 0.8 quickly, right? 39, 35, 22. That's the bullish moves. That's the continuation to the upside. Now let's look at the continuation to the downside. IB by levels. This is my template. I'm using this template to automatically change my setting to be breakdown days. Now we have 44, 42, and 38. That means that the moves to the downside are much more likely to continue than the moves to the top side. Typically, the moves to the downside seem to be more violent, and that's probably why I prefer the shorts. I obviously don't know, but that is a big reason for me in terms of just understanding longs versus shorts. Longs don't typically have that continuation.
Yeah.
And that's not my opinion, by the way.
It's more like a grind.
Yeah. And that's not my opinion, which is wonderful for me.
Yeah. So I agree. Like when you get a day that it sets in longs, very rarely, what I found when the longs are more violent is when you actually get a flush down and then we reclaim a level and then it V bottoms. That's when the longs, they squeeze you.
Yeah. Isn't it nice that you don't have to just take my word for it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like what I just explained is a fact. And you don't have to there's obviously a lot of people online that will just say, oh yeah, days on shorts are much more violent. Okay.
Sure.
How? They don't have an answer. But it's nice to be able to have the data to back what you're saying. I think it's super important, obviously.
If we don't take pre-market highs, I would definitely be interested in those shorts. What's everyone thinking in the chat here this morning? Yeah, Andre, it's good to have you back, bro. Sometimes it's difficult speaking for 2 hours on stream by yourself, dude.
Oh, bro, I know. I'm happy to be back. Honestly, I hate to miss the streams. Okay, so going to the what's in play, by the way, guys, I have 10 reports loaded in here. I'll show you guys quickly. Gap fill by weekday, gap fill by size. I think important. Green and red days by weekday. This is going to tell me how this day typically closes. ICT open by size. Initial bounce standard, initial bounce by weekday, initial bounce by rejection. These are going to take the first hour to form.
Yeah.
Inside bars by weekday. That's another one that I just mentioned earlier. Opening candle continuation and previous day's range by weekday. So now I have ES and NQ loaded in here because those are the two that I'm more than willing to trade. Inside bars by weekday, opened within yesterday's range today. 94% of the time in the last 6 months on Friday, price has broken out of yesterday's range. Here are my targets for ES. Here are my targets for NQ. The same reports are the two that rank the highest. Now you can see the details here, just so you know. I'll switch back just so I can see what's going on quickly. You can see the details if you click on view details here. This is super important because now you can see the historical data it's actually driving this percentage without having to go to the report page. We don't want you to have to jump back and forth from the report page to here to there or whatever else. It's all on one page. So you can see what's happening right now. This is the live data here. This is the historical data over here. Can you send me this list? Yes, I can send you this list.
YM bounced into pin previous day's highs here at the open, and now we are rejecting off of it. I'd be interested to see if that fades away. YM was the most bullish one of the three indexes yesterday. I would not be surprised to see this come lower off that pin, particularly because we just pinned it literally to the T, previous day's highs.
Yeah. If I put a comment, if I reply here, it'll go everywhere, right?
Yes, it will. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so ES tapping into 7K. And NQ, not really doing too much.
Well, I hope that worked.
Yeah, there we go. Yep. Yeah, look at that, bro. So just to look at this. This is just while I was speaking. Sorry, just to steal the screen a little bit. Yeah, look at that. YM literally taps into previous day's highs. Okay, and then fades right back down. I've seen that happen a lot.
Yeah. Bro, did you see that we released the VWAP indicator?
Oh, is it released?
Yeah. So
dude,
you go to your indicator. It's called multi-VWAP. I'm going to have to change the name so VWAP comes first, but it's in the M category. There it is. Right. You just had your right there. Two.
Oh, there.
Yep. There you go.
Oh, sick. Oh, there you
So
go.
if you double click on the dashboard at the top, you'll be able to see. You'll be able to pull up the settings, or just to pull up the settings.
Yeah.
You can turn on and off each of the. Well, you'd want to go to the inputs and do that. Yeah. So now you can turn on and off. You should turn on the style again. Go back and turn those on.
But no, but I don't want. I've already got my own VWAPs on, so I could just.
I see what you're saying. You just want the dashboard.
Yeah.
Okay. Got it.
That can you move the dashboard or not?
Yeah, double click.
Okay.
Scroll all the way down.
Yes.
You see where it says top right?
Yes.
One more down. Click.
Yeah.
Bottom, you can move it wherever you want.
Middle right. Okay. Oh, there, like that. Yeah, that's sick. Let me just take a screenshot. I just want to take a photo of this. I don't feel like screenshot. Let me go like that. Send it to the guys.
Bro, you know what's crazy?
What's that?
I think that there's I never trade the overnight session, but sometimes the moves in the overnight session are so crazy. Like if you look at the last few days, like
it has. The last 2 days have just been clean bounces, bro.
170 points. This day kind of sucks, but over here, like 300 points. Like it's crazy.
While you're talking there, I did something pretty aggressive, but I had to just be locked in. I took the short off the high there.
On YM?
Yeah, so I took it off. I've seen it happen so many times, but you're busy talking. So on that second bar down over here, I took the short back down to the lows. So literally like 60 points. Yeah.
Awesome. Legend.
But that's just a quick scalp. It's not like like that. When you're talking, I don't want to interrupt, and it's I just want to be locked in. Yeah.
Yeah, not too big of a fan of this price action on ES.
Also, those are those, just to butt in, sorry, Andre, those are those trades where I'm not looking for big moves. I'm literally just looking to scalp for a couple points. It's like a momentum play. It rejects previous day's highs, and I'm looking, boom, that's a level that I'm watching with edgeful as well. Boom, off previous day's highs. It's off the same level that we followed yesterday, and I'm looking just for a couple points.
Yeah.
How much is that on YM in dollars? What you're asking, like the futures contracts, like the pricing. I don't know what the pricing is on YM in terms of like the point values. I'm not too sure. I think it's similar to ES though. Let's go. Opening week. Yeah. Yeah, yes. Look, yes, you're struggling for the longs there. 60 points,
Yeah.
so $50 a point. Yeah, I'm not too sure how many. Yeah, I don't trade futures, so mine's not points. Mine's just dollar-based risk. On that, I was up a couple $100 on that. Nothing big size.
It's interesting how much weaker ES was overnight than NQ. NQ's gap is actually pretty big, and ES's gap was actually tiny.
Sure.
So I actually was surprised to see ES gap fill by size being so high in terms of the percentage here. I was like, wait a minute, what? I just looked at the NQ gap, and the NQ gap was huge. The ES gap is really small, so that's interesting, the divergence there overnight. But
yeah, YM's actually down on the day right now, from what I see. YM's down 0.06%, so definitely showing more weakness in actually out of the three. But NASDAQ with a bar back down now too. If you are watching, make sure to subscribe as well so you can see the future streams come up and pop up on your YouTube. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. Yes. Dude, I think we could see a sell-off here. That's what I'm saying.
I agree. I don't know about this entry anywhere. Yeah, I agree, but I think that pop in the morning or at the open was the place to enter.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. I mean, even looked like yesterday, I was down, so I was showing pre-market as well. So if you look at my trades yesterday, okay, so on Thursday, let's go like this. So on Thursday, I actually ended the day up $3,000 across all my accounts, but I took a loss first. I was down like $1.5 grand. I did well to cut that. I wasn't in super big because I was fading a little bit of momentum, but I like that flush. But NASDAQ, look how the ES created a new high. NASDAQ doesn't, and then that's where I had 2 trades on this. I took a short, took 80% out, added back in full size, and then got out again. This still goes 100 points lower. So, but yeah, that was I think I executed pretty well yesterday in terms of like, adding in, being able to see, okay, I'm actually in the right trade here.
Yeah. And you also took that trade on stream.
Yeah. I mean, I was like, I literally was like, I'm in at 920.
Yeah. You were in at 920.
I know some of the guys actually in the live chat were like, yeah, they actually took the trade too.
Yeah.
Look at this now. ES also coming back down. NASDAQ too, but NASDAQ's still sitting at this daily view app, which I don't particularly like. I would like it to at least flush 800 like that before maybe seeing some shorts.
I'm interested in this little like consolidation here to see how it reacts. If it pops up, like if we break this little area, and I usually don't like to use Globex for zones, but if we break this area here, I think we continue down.
Yeah, look at this.
Same thing here. Like, I think that if we get below 80, I didn't have my screen. If we get below that like 88 area, or specifically 87 area, do we have data right now?
No, nothing on my side.
At 10, there's housing market index, not high
medium
impact,
impact,
but yeah. I think I would be interested in the shorts here after this pop. But
bro, don't you like it when just off topic a little bit, but don't you like it when like you speak into someone, like you're trying to get something done like in business or something like that, and they like reply like immediately? They don't take like like 2
3
days
days.
to apply and stuff
Yeah,
like
bro,
that.
of course. Of course.
Yeah,
It's
I've
like,
felt, yeah,
I mean, there's times where I'm slow to respond to messages, but it's usually because I'm on calls or I'm on a stream or
sure.
whatever else. But I've definitely been super slow to respond, but I also
Yeah,
sometimes
you
I'm
don't
like,
you don't reply to my messages.
sometimes, dude, I'm I don't know how many calls, and I'm like, oh, like.
No,
damn,
no,
I need to
100%.
answer.
But like, but I'm saying, like, if someone calls me and they're like, they need this done, they need this information from me, and they just get it done in the next 10 minutes, it's like,
Oh,
sweet.
dude, it's the best.
Yeah. I'm sure that's how it was at Goldman Sachs, like when you were working there too, bro.
Oh yeah, dude. I mean, it's like everyone's a machine there.
The best trader that I personally know that I've met in person. He lives 30 minutes down the road from me. He swings big. If you message that guy at 12 at night, he will reply within like 10 seconds, bro. It's actually crazy. And I'm like, dude, Dan, do you ever sleep, bro? I played golf with him last week, and he's like, bro, I just like to get back to messages. I don't like them sitting on my phone. And I'm like, that's a high operator, you know. And he's got 3 kids too.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. So when I'm focusing on something, I think that these shorts are starting to become a little bit valid.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree with the short. I like the short.
I'm going to talk about what I'm going to talk about in a second here, but I like the rejection off of the midpoint of the orb. If we can do something like this for a 10-point target to the gap fill on ES, not terrible.
Yeah, gap fill on NQ would be at 717, call it 704. What do you have as a gap fill? I know there's obviously the indicator, so I can get a
69.84.75 on ES, and then on NQ
706.
719.25.
That's so interesting. Look at mine. Here's my gap fill indicator with the edge fill. There's the line 705.
You're using the one for equities. It references the session close, not the 4 p.m. close.
Okay. So there's 2.
Yeah. If you just go to invite only and you type in gap fill, hold on one sec. I want to take
there you go. Gap fill 2.0.
All right. Trying this. One sec. 69.93.25.
Let's go like that. Let's get your screen up.
All right, I took this short on ES. I think that if we break this orb low and get below this zone, I'm pretty confident we're going to continue down to that gap fill.
Yeah.
Stop is around this 7,000 area. I don't think I really need to risk above orb high. Like if it reclaims this midpoint of the orb, I'm probably not going to be correct on this trade. Sure. I just needed to break through this consolidation area, and we'll see how it goes. But let me show you something. I'm going to go to a 15-minute here on NQ. And what am I doing? I'm going to turn
the gap fill. That one, huh?
Yeah. So gap fill, we have gap fill 2.0, which is the new one, which I personally really like. And what this does is I'm going to hide all the other ones. Let me just turn all these other ones off. What this does is it marks the opening price with the 0%. It marks the 25% gap fill, the 50% gap fill, the 75, and the 100% gap fill, all for you every single day based on the session that you have selected. If you go to the customizations, you can turn off some of these levels. So you can do only the open, the 50%, and the 100%, or you can turn off the open because you don't really care about that. But you have the 50% and the 100% here. So this will always automatically plot the gap fill for you and the half gap. The half gap is a very, very high probability target. So if we go to the gap fill, I'll actually show you guys how to make a template now because I don't have it set. Wow, interesting bounce here.
I still like it, bro. I've just got short NASDAQ at 8.15.
Yeah, it looks pretty clean, honestly, especially when you go to the 15-minute.
Yeah, so I'm short NASDAQ.
Just be careful in 8 minutes. We have, I know it's not high impact, but we do have data. So I just want everyone to be aware of that. But we can see here on NQ. Yeah, NQ is definitely weaker, by the way. So keep that in mind. If you want to trade NQ, I would. If you're looking for the shorts, NQ seems to be the one that's a little relatively weaker. But going to the gap fill report, I'll look on NQ right now, and I'll tell you guys what are the odds that this target right here, this 50% gap fill, actually gets hit. And well, first of all, I didn't even set a profit target here. I should do that. What am I doing here? 69.84. I'm going to set it at 85. Okay. So what are the odds that this target is going to be hit here, right? This 50% gap fill. I'm going to go to my report over here. I'm going to go to the customization. I'm going to change this to be 50% right over here. Now this is measuring the half gap, right? Give it a second to load. This is measuring a half gap. So it's measuring how often this price reached this green little target right over here. This is the 50% gap fill on NQ. Now, gaps up, all gaps up, regardless of weekday, regardless of size, 78% of them are going to touch this green line here.
Yeah.
And that's really important for me to know. So now I want to create a template for that. By the way, price is flushing now, which is awesome. I am targeting, I do have my order set at 69.85 here. I'm expecting perhaps a bounce after this little zone low here. So by the way, the 50% gap fill did fill right here on NQ. I'm actually going to turn on the gap fill indicator on ES. 50% gap filled on ES, 100% is right down here. I am going to move my stops down just so I don't get torched here. But yeah, so now I'm risking 3 points. I don't really care, honestly, what happens from here. I am looking for that move down, obviously. I'm looking for continuation.
Yeah, great 5-minute bar as well. 15 looks great.
Yeah. So
just the gap fill 2.0 is the one that I'm going to use then.
Yeah, just use that. It's more dynamic. It's better, honestly. And wow.
There we go. I'm going to close some profits here. I'm up 40 points, so I'll take that for now. Now I'm closing 70%. There you go. And my edgeful algo NASDAQ just took the short as I'm getting out on the manual. So we'll take that.
Perfect. And there it is. On my full position, I'm done. I've told you guys that I don't want to, I do not want to leave runners. I have not had good success with that on these streams. You guys have seen it. So my profit target was hit at, I had my order set. Oh, I actually had my order set at, hold on one sec. At 86, not 85, but I was wondering, I was like, how did that happen? I had my order set at 86, so I left a point there on the table. But again, you're looking at that gap fill. What did I say before? Looking at the gap fill report. Well, first of all, let me show you how to make this template because I do think the half gap is very important. Oh, and now the momentum is starting. Of course.
Okay. Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say now I'm up 50 points. I'm 70% out my trade. So you can see over here. Here's my trade. I took this on the 50-minute chart just to let you guys know. I wasn't even watching like a lower time frame. I like that 50-minute closure stop at the highs. I know it's a bigger stop than André likes, but I really like that. Yeah. And yeah, I'm 70% out now, so it's a nice little trade. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
So I just mentioned how important the 50% gap fill is. What I want to do is I want to save it as a template right over here. So I have 100%, I have 65%. 65% honestly was just for testing purposes. So I'm actually going to go and delete that. 65% has been deleted. Now I only have 100%, which is pretty much the default. I'm going to go over here, save as new template, gap fill, 50%. I have my customization set to 50, click save. Now it's saving my template right now. God, this is.
There you go, 70 points. I'm going to take another 10% off. And there's my NQ algo winning. Look at that. Okay.
Beautiful, dude.
Okay,
Beautiful.
bottom left-hand section, took the win. In at 785, out at 751, so 30 points because the opening range wasn't too big.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, bro. I mean, what a way to start the day, huh? Not even 10 a.m.
I might call that for the day and go and have a beer.
I think I'm going to call it too. I'm not
afterwards.
interested in giving back some of these problems.
Yeah, it's already 5 p.m. Yeah, I'm gonna call that a day and lock it up and have a beer after stream.
Good. Let me just refresh this. I know that so for anyone who's been trying to use the templates, I hope that you haven't had any issues. We are experiencing some issues because we release so many updates at once that, obviously we've tested literally everything, but I have been having some of these issues. Let me just close my edgeful and open it back up again. So for anyone who is potentially in the shorts now, or is looking to enter in short, your next high probability target is, let me turn off the gap fill, turn off the gap fill. Your next high probability target is this red line here. On ES, it's 6.5 points away. On NQ, it's 67 points away. Why is this a high probability target? Let's go to the what's in play quickly. Going to the what's in play. What am I looking for? Yeah, this was very clean. Thank you, Mark. Really happy to hear that. Your templates are working well. I'm getting pretty frustrated with them, I'm not going to lie, but that's good. Why is this red line a high probability target? What's at the top of my what's in play? ES, inside bars by weekday, 94% breakout on Friday. Where are my targets? Either here or here. NQ, inside bars by weekday, opened within yesterday's range, 94% breakout on Friday. Here are my targets. This is why right over here and right over here are the high probability targets. This is the previous New York session's low. It is very likely that price breaks out today of this New York session low. That is why if you're in a short, that is the target to go for. On ES, it's practically there. You're looking at 4.5 points. On NQ, the gap is about to fill, and you have the 50-point target left. Not that it's going to flush straight down, but it's a very high probability target.
I am full out.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Best position runner, 84 points.
Awesome.
There you go.
And Carlos, we are working on that. I see you said make it, save it in the memory. We are working on that. Our dev team is aware, and they're looking to fix this. Obviously, it's the highest priority right now. But
bro, I don't mean to say like this, but our calls have been pretty solid, bro, on streams.
Bro, it's been actually insane to be since we started this stream. It has been honestly nuts.
I think I've had one losing day on edgeful streams in 12 streams. I think I should just stream with you guys every day.
Yeah, let's just run it every day. There have been days where I haven't taken. There's been actually a bunch of days where I have not taken really good setups, but I don't think that I think I've also had one red day on the stream. Dude, what a flush. Is there any news right now? Like, what's going on? Look at this, Carlos. Thank you, Carlos. This team rocks. Wow, there's your target is about to hit. Again, these are not arbitrary levels. I want to make this super clear.
Yeah.
I'm not. There you go. Great. You're locked out. Love that too. Beautiful. Well, I'm hoping you mean you like locked your account because now you're green on the day. I'm assuming that's what you mean. But yeah, I hope that feels good. There you go. Another look, James, look at these comments here. Broke my losing streak today with a short on NQ. Feels good. There you go. Another banger.
Yeah.
But I know sometimes maybe it seems like I was saying before on NQ this morning, if you guys rewind before the market opened, I said, there is a very high probability we touch this yellow line. I went through each of the trade, or each of the reports. I said there is a very high probability we touch this red line. There's also a very high probability that we touch either this one or this one, right? Either this red line or this red line. Yeah, Zinc, holy free fall, I know. And then I was saying on ES, where is your target? The gap fill. Why? Because if we go to the what's in play here, then go back to the what's in play. And now what you'll notice is that the gap fill no longer appears in here. Why? So why does the gap fill no longer appear? Because it's not in play anymore for ES or for NQ. It's in my completed section. Open this up. Gap fill by size. This is what I was pointing to before. Gap fill by size on ES, right over here. Gap up between 0 and 0.19%, 86% gap fill. The bias is short. The gap filled already. Click on the view details. What do you see? There's been 36 gaps up. 31 of them have filled. Only 5 of them did not. That is why I set my target right before this blue line, which is the previous close. The next target, now there is a pop, which is what I said just like 2 minutes ago. I'm not expecting this to just flush all the way down to this red line. Same thing for here.
Yeah.
But I'm not like some sort of wizard, honestly. I'm not some sort of wizard. I'm literally just looking at this information and being like, okay, where is the place that price is very likely to go to based on the data? Not based on how I feel today, not based on like what James is saying or what someone else is saying. No offense, James, or anyone else. I'm looking at this and saying, these are high probability areas, and I want to trade in that direction. Now, you are going to have some discretion that comes with the entries and the stop losses. It depends on your position size. It depends on your risk. It depends on everything. But on this, there was this move up. Price came down, popped back up. I'll just drop to a 1-minute chart to go back over this trade for a second. This was the trade that I took right over here. Price came up, came down, popped, immediately failed. I was like, okay, let's ride this down. Wrote it down. There was the target. It's not like, in hindsight, this looks very simple. Oh, next time it sets up, I'm going to do the exact same thing, right? It's not that simple. It's not that easy, obviously. But I walked you guys through it while I was doing it. So hopefully, the more you guys watch these streams, the more you understand how to actually trade with the data, how to use the reports, how to use the what's in play every single day to understand, okay, this is what I need to be looking at, and this is what I need to be avoiding. So there are things that will be low probability. Like I should not be using the green and red days by weekday report for ES or NQ because it's a coin toss, right? I don't care about this, right? It's only 58%, 54%. Whether Fridays will close green or red, I don't care about that, honestly. What you can do to get this off your screen so you only have what you want to focus on, let's just drag this up to be 60%. And now everything else is based on what's in play. Now, we should probably put this in forming until it breaks one of the sides, actually. So I'm going to do that. going to pull up your screen, James, just for 1 second.
Yeah.
So I can do that.
Perfect. Yeah. So I'm fully out of the NASDAQ.
Yeah.
I'm probably going to call it there. I really did like the shorts in pre-market, in my pre-market prep stream. So yeah, I found, André, when I like have these nice quick trades like this, when I stuff it up is when I try and like look for a trade in the afternoon, because I'm like, and then I get like, it ends up bouncing because I like the continuation short, and then I get smoked. When I have like these nice quick trades that work like this, I like to call it for the day, because then when you try and force things and overtrade, and then all of a sudden you're 2-3 trades deep and you're giving back all your profits, that hurts. Yeah.
Okay, just give me 1 second while I make this. Okay.
Yeah.
Here it is again. Agreed. I'm locked out of my accounts for the day. Wonderful. That's exactly why I need how to trade with data live streams. There you go. This is exactly what we're looking for. So we are waiting for 8 reports to set up. They are going to set up at 10:30 right over here. So this forming section is waiting for these other reports to form. But right now, there's not that much in play, right? There's the inside bars. There's the ICT open for ES. That doesn't really seem like it's going to play out right now. It was pretty close, to be honest. I am surprised it didn't, on this run up, it didn't get there, because the data is very strong. So you can see the data on the based on the size is 84%. So that is kind of crazy it didn't hit. But there's not that much in play. So if anyone's like trying to force the trade now, really think about, here's an example. James, I'm curious what you think about this.
Sure.
Let's pretend for a second that you run $1 billion fund.
Yep. I'd like that to be true, but yes.
Yeah. But let's pretend that you run $1 billion fund and you had to justify every single trade that you took with a thesis, with a target, with a stop loss, with an entry to your investors.
Yeah.
How many trades would you actually take?
Yeah, you wouldn't. I agree, bro.
You would
I actually
not
say
trade
this,
as much as you do.
I say this all the time to myself. Well, I say that I 100% agree with that. I say this all the time to myself and to the guys that I coach. You know, let's just also pretend that you worked at, I'm going to use S&B Capital because I think they put out great content, but they're also a great prop firm, in-house prop firm in New York.
Yeah.
Let's pretend that you work at S&B Capital, right? Now, I've actually met someone that trades at S&B Capital. I won't say his name, but he actually he married one of my wife's very, very close family friends, and he's visiting in South Africa at the moment. He lives in Miami because they got an office there. But I met him a year ago, and then again 2 days ago. But anyway, just think of it for a moment. If you just arrived at the desk 5 minutes before market open and just decided, you're just going to start trading, you'll be fired within the first week, bro. I think as a new trader, you have to provide a pre-market plan every single day and be at the office at least an hour before market open. But I think because we as retail traders don't have that type of like those rules or like, strictness and stuff like that, we just come to the desk and then we wonder why those guys are such great traders and outperform most retail traders, because they're putting in the work.
Outperform like 99% because they actually have a system.
Dude, do you think the Miami Heat are going to just rock up to the game 10 minutes before tip-off and start playing?
No way.
No, they're not going to do that, bro. Yeah.
No way, dude.
So why would you do that in your trade? Why would you do that in your trading? So as much as I'm streaming for you guys doing the pre-market preps, it's actually helping me and my own trading.
Which is great. It's a win-win, bro.
Agreed.
Yeah, it's dude, some people just, I tweeted about this morning, and I'll actually pull it up here just because I think it's important to talk about. But one sec. God, my Twitter is super slow right now. Is it down?
It was working for me when I was on 20 minutes ago, but I haven't been on since the open.
Huh. One sec. I'm just gonna open it back up.
Give me a sec, bro. I need the toilet
Yeah,
badly.
That's your fine. Okay, whatever. I'm gonna go to my phone. Hopefully that works. Okay, there seems to be an issue with Twitter, so hopefully anyone who's watching on Twitter is not having an issue. But what I was saying this morning was that people put in like minimal effort and expect massive outcomes. And they get really upset and they complain that they're not having the success that they want. Meanwhile, they're putting in like 5 or 10% of the effort that they could put in. And something that I think about all the time is when I'm working towards something, I think about how much effort am I putting in towards this goal relative to my potential effort. And I think about like, what would I be doing if my life was on the line in order to achieve this goal? Like, what do I mean by that? Like, let's say that you have a sales quota. You work in sales. This is just an easy example. You work in sales and you're not really doing that well. You call like a few people a day. Some of them answer, some of them don't. You email, you send a few emails, whatever else, right? And you're just like, oh, this job is not that great. But let's say that if you didn't make $1 million in sales that year, your life was on the line. Or something else extremely drastic was on the line. How many calls would you make? How many emails would you send? How many doors would you knock on? Like, what would be the difference between that potential or that level of effort versus what you're doing now? And that gap, the bigger the gap is, the bigger the issue. But that gap is really the potential. Like, if you just think about it, ask yourself, like, what would I be doing if I reached this goal? I would make $1 billion. Like, if for example, another example, how many of you can go and run a marathon right now? Probably not that many. I mean, maybe you could, but the idea is if you can run a marathon in the next 6 months, I'll give you $1 billion. Like, how much would you train? Like, what level of effort would you put in to be able to run that marathon? That is super important, bro.
I agree.
Like, I agree
with that
that
so much,
gap
bro.
is the gap between what people are actually doing versus what they know that they could do that they're just too lazy to do is so unbelievably big. And then they complain when they don't get the results they want. Like, James, right now, if I told you in 6 months, if you run a marathon in less than 4 hours, I'll give you $1 billion. Can you imagine the level of effort?
Dude, I'll leave the stream right now and start training.
I know, exactly. Like, that's the same thing. Is like,
I
how badly
agree
do you
with
want to
you.
achieve your goals?
Can I tell you what's helped me as well, and not only my trading, but like business as well, is that like when I was a bachelor and I wasn't engaged, wasn't married, nothing like that, I only had to fend for myself.
Yeah.
Okay. And then when I got engaged, we got married, my wife and I, we had a baby like almost immediately. That forced me to level up my trading and my work ethic, because I have two dependents. My wife doesn't work. So I have two dependents on me that I've got to provide for. And it's the same thing as what you're saying. It's like you have that mindset. So that for me, that's something that like helped me a lot personally in my own. When you give yourself like no way out and you have to make it work, like burn the ships and no plan B, you make it happen, bro. I agree with that like 100%. Like, for example, as well, like if I want to make like an expense, for example, if I want to buy a car that I really like or something like that, and I'm like, I don't really like, I really want it. Do I need it? Maybe not, but and you get it. It also forces you, because you're like, man, if I work hard, I want to get that car, whatever it is. I want to get that house, or I want to get, it's like, you're going to make it happen. You find a way, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, dude. I think that burning this, like you really don't know what you're capable of until you don't have a safety net or a plan B.
Yeah.
Like, that's when you really know, like, what are you made of, when you have no other option but to make this one thing work. And sometimes it's just like you'll surprise yourself at like what you're capable of, honestly. But that what you just said, James, is like burning the boats. Like if you want to take over the island, burn the boats. That's like a saying. It's a very popular saying. But the idea is you pull up with a ship onto an island, and if you want to take over that island, the only way that you guarantee you take over the island is if you burn your boats so you can never leave. Right? That's the idea. If you leave the boats, you always have that idea in the back of your mind of this is getting really hard and I don't want to do it anymore. But I have my ships and I can always just get back on the boat and I can always leave.
Yeah,
if you
exactly.
burn the boats, you don't have a plan B. You don't have another option. And you have to do it. And I'm not saying, just to be clear, I'm not saying quit your jobs, start trading full time or whatever else. But I'm saying just lock in already. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like some people do, they just don't lock in. And I just think it's crazy. I'm like, dude, you have one life, you blink and it goes by, and you're just sitting 8 hours a day on TikTok or Instagram or like doing nothing productive.
That's the biggest thing, bro. I actually, last week, I realized that I was stuffing around too much on socials. And the only time I go on socials is post my content and I get off. Other than that, I don't sit around. It's been so much better for the mental as well. Like you're not sitting on bullshit.
Dude. I mean, this is like not anything new. Everyone knows this already, but social media like is a time warp. Bro, you can pull up your phone, sit on the couch, pull up your phone, 40 minutes goes by and you don't even realize. Like it's like 40 minutes goes by, an hour goes by and you're like, whoa. Like you just look up and you're like, oh my God, like I cannot believe I just let that much time go by.
Yeah.
But I actually was tweeting about this recently about my screen time, which is insane, actually, which I just realized. My screen time on Tuesday was 16, almost 17 hours on my computer. So this is like work.
Okay, work.
My screen, this is all like work related. My screen, so Tuesday was 17 hours. Wednesday was 17 hours. Thursday was 15 hours and 20 minutes. And I literally wake up, I go to the gym, and I obviously shower. I have a million coffees, and I work from the moment that I wake up, from the moment that I'm back in the gym, up until literally the moment that I go to sleep. And by the way, here's this target that I was talking about earlier on NQ. It's about to be hit on ES. Wait for it. Wait for it. Let's just zoom in right here. Wait for it. There it is. So just to cut off what I was saying for a second, I told you guys, at least time for a blue light blocker, bro. Yeah, I have blue light glasses. I never wear them. But what did I say before? Before this goes away, this is going to go away in just a minute now. Inside bars by weekday, ES and NQ, 94% on both of them for Fridays. Where is your target? Where is your bias? In this case, we have the flush. The obvious target now becomes that Thursday's low on ES and NQ. They were both touched. This is how exactly you can trade with data. There's not some arbitrary number. I'm not looking, I want to make whatever, 25 points or 30 points or whatever. I'm using a level, which is now no longer in play. I'm using a level that I know has a very high probability of being hit. And this new what's in play will always tell you every single day what is in play versus what is not based on the data. So if you guys are confused about what reports to use, you can use the ones that I have in here. This is obviously being recorded, so you guys can go back and watch this. I did send a message in the comments before about I'll do it again actually, just so it's easier. Hold on one sec. Okay, I'm gonna pull it up because I'm gonna pull this up, just screenshot this. It's on the screen right now, just screenshot that. That's the reports that I have in here. So I'll pull that up right now. Well, it's up actually right now, but these are really key reports to have in your what's in play every single day. Put in whatever tickers you like to trade. If you like to trade YM or RTY or whatever else, or GC or silver, include them. I only trade ES and NQ, not for any specific reason. I just know I like how they move. And now you can see what's actually left here. So
yeah, just out of interest sake as well, like look how more bearish the Nasdaq is compared to ES. ES only
I know.
ES has only flushed 10 points, which isn't a lot. Compared, like if ES flushes 10 points, Nasdaq should cover, maybe 5 times that amount, maybe 4 times that amount, give or take.
Yeah.
But Nasdaq's flushed literally, 128 points.
Yeah, so it's a much bigger move.
Yeah.
And
I'm not saying go trade Nasdaq all the time. I'm just saying, like, I like trading any index that's in play, but like it was more relatively weak today.
yeah.
And like even look at like YM. YM's also hasn't really flushed that much. YM's still at the opening range low.
Yeah, NVIDIA new low of day.
Yeah.
NQ, I mean, Tesla. Wow, Tesla really low of day.
I agree. It's just to go back on what we were saying as well. Like, there's Andy Frisella, who I love.
Dude, I love that guy.
Yeah, I love him.
He's a beast.
Yeah, so his content, I love it, bro. It's like very true as well. And he's like, everyone that you look up to, they had no plan B.
Yeah.
Like they went all in, and it's like, it's true, bro. Like, as you said, like if you don't make, whatever your figure is in the year, otherwise you'll die. You'll make a plan, bro.
Mark, that's Andy Frisella.
Yeah, I'll put it in
He's the founder. He actually, I think he used to be like homeless, I think. And now he has a podcast.
Yeah.
He owns a huge energy drink company. He has actually the most insane car collection I think I've ever seen ever. Not that that's why I like him, but dude, his car collection is nuts. His car collection is insane. But yeah, he's like one of those guys. Like he talks about hard work. He talks about like not complaining. He talks about like whatever, pushing yourself. And I mean, I love his stuff. But and just so you guys know, this exactly what's happening right now is a perfect reason why I hate to leave runners. I know there are a lot of people. I know Tom Hugard is one of them that says leave runners, hold on to winners, add to winners, add to winners. I think that he's mostly like a longer-term swing trader, but this is why I set orders with full in, full out for the most part.
Yeah.
Right over here, it pinned previous day's low. Now from the previous day's low, it's up 50 points. You're definitely stopped out in even you, bro, with your giant stops. Even you're going to be stopped at a break even or slightly in profit.
Correct.
This here, 10 points against you. You're going to be at break even or in slight profit, but your target was down here.
Also, just something interesting that I just spotted now as well. If we look at the high time, so I like using VWAPs. You guys know that. So this blue VWAP.
Get another coffee. I'll be right back.
Sure. This blue VWAP that's coming across my screen here is the weekly VWAP, start of week VWAP. So start of week from pre-market Monday, okay, or Sunday night for Americans, right? Look how NASDAQ is trading below it, more relatively weak compared to ES. We are actually sitting at it at the moment. We're sitting right at that VWAP, okay? And then YM, we are actually bouncing it almost to the tick. So just very interesting to see that as well. That's that start of week VWAP. You can just pin a VWAP if you go to the left-hand side of here and you go like this, and you go anchored VWAP. You click that and you pin it to the start of the week. That is actually very interesting that we are seeing that. So yeah. But yeah, yes, now also looking like we want to right back down now. So the shorts are in play, guys. I must say the shorts are in play. YM now also respecting that New York session VWAP. This is why I love it. Look how we are pinning that VWAP to the tick. Okay, looking really good for shorts in continue. I'll still say the shorts are in continuation. I must say, like, I'm not saying it's going to bounce. I'm just saying NASDAQ was more relatively weak. Anyone, any trades or anything like that right now? at the moment? Let me know. We will look
Dude,
at
look at this reversal. I got a coffee 1 minute later.
Yeah.
Wow.
I was actually just showing them how NASDAQ is trading underneath the weekly VWAP, but YM and ES are trading above it, actually.
Oh, dude, you're using our new sick indicator?
Yeah. Yeah, you could. I had mine plotted normally from the visual house, but you could also do that from, actually, let me test it out. To anchor it. So you'd go like this.
You don't need to even anchor it. You just turn it. So I'll walk you through it right now.
Oh, weekly. There we go. Yes.
Yeah, bro. We have it all.
Oh, there we go. Hey. So look at that. I got it up here. There we go. Okay. So YM, you can see we are above the weekly VWAP. It's green, right? You can see that. NASDAQ is below it. ES is below it now, just below it. It's just popped below it by 2 points. But you see what I'm saying? How more relatively weak the NASDAQ was compared to like a YM or ES. Yeah.
Bro, look at that indicator. Isn't that sick?
That is sick, bro. That is sick. Right
over here, guys. Everyone with an edgeful plan has this indicator, multi-VWAP, edgeful multi-VWAP. I'm actually going to swap the name. If anyone has any suggestions for the net, because obviously when you think VWAP, you go to V, you don't go to M. So I wanted to start with VWAP, so it's going to be VWAP something else. But click. You now have 2 VWAP. I'll make this a lot bigger. I'll make this, make it even bigger. Okay. So we have automatically by default, we have the New York Open VWAP and the daily VWAP plotted. So if I go to my customizations, New York Open is the blue, daily is the orange. I can turn on a weekly VWAP as well. That's going to add it to my what's called here, my dashboard. And then you can see the weekly one is green. You can obviously change the color. But now you can see how far above or below it is from each of these VWAPs. Now, you can turn off the above or below. Obviously, if this is red, James, this might be useful for you if you don't, like if you can just kind of figure it, like whatever else, you don't need the above or below. If this is red and it's a negative number, it's obviously below. If it's green, it's obviously above. But so you can turn that on and off. But the really cool thing actually is the custom VWAP. So the custom VWAP, you actually get to pick where you anchor it to. So you can see, let's just go to the, what's this? Let's go to the high of 2026, right over here. It's on January 13. So now, by the way, a really easy way to do it so you don't have to play with the numbers here is this line will appear. You can just drag it to the bar that you want. So you can see that it's now anchored to this bar. And if I go to the settings, you can also see that it's anchored to the 930 bar at 113. So this is the all-time high of 2026 right over here. And that's going to be my purple line. And I'm going to do 2026 all-time high. And then now you'll see, so you don't need to remember where what it's anchored to. You can now see that 2026 all-time high. We're below that VWAP as of right now. So if you have an edgeful sub, you have access to this. I just want to make that clear to you guys. And then like what James is doing today, we don't have 2 standard deviation VWAP report. If you do have an idea actually for a VWAP report, it has to be like objective, black and white. Like there has to be a way to measure it where like anyone in the world can recreate it. Send us a message over here. So there's an AI agent, just say speak to a person and send us a message and we will, or actually you can do build a custom report right over here and we'll build that out for you. Also, all of the IB opening candle reports are now in play here. So keep that in mind. I'll go over that in just a second. But if you don't want these lines to plot and you just want this box, you can go to style. And then I think that you can just turn off all of these the way James did. And then now you just have the box. You don't have everything on your chart. So you can obviously make this way smaller. So you can go normal size. On my chart, it looks good, but like I'm sure it's very small for you guys. But yeah, now I have all my VWAPs, and then I have how far away prices from each of them. So there's that.
Yeah.
But let me just actually, let's go back here for a second. High time frame candles, put on the OR. I'm actually going to put on the IB now that it's set. High time frame candles and IB. Okay. Oh, James, I have to show you something.
Yes, sir.
So I'm going to go back to my, let's turn this off. So in the market sessions indicator that we obviously have Asia, London, New York. I don't think that you use these. I don't think you use this indicator to plot the sessions.
No, not as much, no.
But I added a bunch to it this week. We now have an auto-anchored VWAP to the session. So you can automatically, like you can see the London session here. I can add a VWAP to it, automatically anchored every single day from the open to the close. I can do the same thing for New York. I can do the same thing for Asia. So now I have an auto-anchored VWAP every single day plotted for me in my session. I also have, I'm going to hide the Asian and London session. I also have the midpoint of each of the sessions, so the middle over here. So now what you can see, I know a lot of people like to use the midpoint of the previous session.
Yep.
Oh, I used it on the wrong one. Over here, you can see now I have my horizontal line, which is plotting the midpoint of the previous session. We also have open to close. This is going to plot the line from the open of the session to the close of the session. This is a really easy way to see if the session is red or green. So the diagonal line, let me turn off these two. The diagonal line is going to tell you if the session is red or green. So now you can see very easily what's going on with the sessions. For anyone who has an edgeful sub, I want my money back for this IB today. That's hilarious. For anyone with an edgeful sub, you have access to this. It's in your indicators. We are going to build out a page to go over all the indicators, but very, yeah, just a lot of updates.
Starting to roll over a little bit on YM now as well.
Bro, are you itching to take a trade?
No, I've done what I need to today.
Yeah.
But I think this feels like a day that could go. If I'm looking at the hourly chart as well, look at that hourly bar, bro. It's clearing.
Bro, look at the high time. Oh, let me add the 4 hour in here. Look at all the higher time frames.
Yeah. Dude, like I'm just looking at, just from my experience, I love using the 15-minute chart. I've used it. That's the chart I've looked at the most over my 9 years of trading. Like when I see this on, especially like on YM, like
pull up your screen quick.
Yeah, like this. Like when I see this, where we break, we have two 50-minute bars trying to bounce, and now we're getting a massive continuation bar. I think this going to previous days lows. That's 200 points lower. That's where I think we're going.
Well, let's go to the 50.
Nasdaq's already on its way. It's got another 80 points, 90 points or so. ES is, yeah. I mean, this is also strong. I do have a level though on ES that I am wary of. So I wouldn't just get short yet. That's
Wait,
not
where's
what I'm
the
saying.
80 points on NQ?
So NQ still has 80 points to previous days lows, but you use regular market low. Yeah, I'm talking about extended market hour lows. Yeah, we've already cleared the previous days regular market hour lows. Yes.
Yeah.
So regular market hour close. What we mean by that for those listening is you get basically two sessions. One is the regular market hours, which would be from 9:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern time every single day. That's when the stock market is actually physically open and trading. And then you got pre and post market hours. I like looking at the pre and post market hours personally just for levels, but everyone to themselves, right? I know André likes looking at the regular.
So to be clear, anyone with an edgeful sub, when I say it is absolutely mandatory to watch this video, it is absolutely mandatory. This is an 8-minute video played on 2x speed It is absolutely mandatory that you watch this how to use sessions on edgeful, because the way that we filter the data is unique. So exactly the conversation that James and I just had, where he said there's 80 points till previous day's low, he's talking about the daily time frame.
Yes.
So I'm going to go to the reports page. He's referring to this session here. I am referring to the New York session. That's why we have the market sessions indicator. That's why we have these blue boxes, so you know every single day, where is my high and low of day? Where does my New York session start and end? If you're using the daily time frame, for example, the inside bars report has a different target. Obviously, the inside bars on the daily time frame has not hit yet, because the previous daily low is at 25,553. This is absolutely critical that you guys understand, because you will not know where to set your targets. And now, thankfully, I've made about 2,000 videos going over these reports, but at the top, you can see in your help section, in your sidebar, there's this thing that says quick explainer video. Also, if you scroll, it's just going to scroll you down on the page. But if you scroll down on any report in edgeful, there is an explainer video telling you exactly what the report measures, how to use it with chart examples. So you guys can just scroll straight down to here, and you will know exactly where to plot your levels every day. We obviously have the indicators that pair with it. I use the indicators every day. They're not buy and sell signal indicators. They just plot very key levels. For me, I think that plotting, and people have different opinions on this, I think plotting levels manually every day, number one, eventually you're going to make a mistake and plot the wrong.
Oh,
place.
yeah.
There's no doubt about it. You will make a
Agreed.
mistake. The other thing is, it does take a piece of your mental capital to actually think every single day, I need to plot previous day's high. I need to plot previous day's low. I need to plot
It's boring.
the gap fill. I need to plot my initial balance high and low. I need to plot the midpoint of the initial balance. I need to plot my orb high and low. I need to plot the midpoint of the orb. You don't need to be doing that. We have the indicators that are part of the plan. So you don't, I literally just walked you guys through all of the things that I used today, which I didn't have to plot. So what do? I focus on execution. I don't have to worry about levels. I don't have to worry about putting lines on my charts. The same thing with the indicator that we built for VWAP. You don't need to worry about where is my VWAP? Is it above or below? How far is it, or whatever else? It's all done for you. So that's obviously very important. I think that preserving your mental capital in trading is absolutely critical. Yeah. I think it's pretty overlooked, because you have all the data, obviously. You have all the data here in the what's in play. Now you just need to execute on that data, and what you can see, obviously, the bias overall on ES and NQ using the IB, the opening candle, whatever else, is all short today. If we go to the screener quickly.
But yeah, that's I always look at the screener now after the first hour. It's something I use in my trading every single day. But I agree with you. It goes back to what we were saying. Yesterday about when you're at Morgan Stanley and they taught you how to use the keyboard.
You keep saying Morgan Stanley.
Goldman Sachs, man. Morgan Stanley.
Oh my God. Morgan Stanley's like 5 levels below Goldman.
Sorry, boss. Sorry. But yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
No, I know what you're talking about.
Morgan Stanley, Goldman Sachs, when they taught you how to use on the keyboard. You know it's funny, bro. You know, if you guys want to watch a good movie this weekend, do relax in your downtime. I'm a big believer in that. Trading can be a stressful job. You need to chill on the weekends. I love watching movies and that, like with my wife, and just chilling. But if you want to watch a good movie that's like educational and quite cool on trading, is The Boiler Room. So I don't know if have you not seen it? You need to watch it, André.
I know.
I was watching it this past weekend, and it's like about stockbrokers and stuff like that.
It's an old movie, right?
Yeah, old movie. Yeah, like you know what's crazy, dude? Because I only Austin told me about it like a year ago, and I watched it. It's got Vin Diesel in it.
Yeah.
It's got
isn't it Ben Affleck in that, or
Ben Affleck? Yeah, Vin Diesel and Ben Affleck in the same year. It's wild. And I was like, sick. That's cool. But anyway, they go like out to have a couple of drinks, and like they at the firm called JT Marlin, and they're like, who the fuck are you guys? And it's like, I don't know if you've heard of this firm. It's down the road. JP Morgan. Have you heard of it? Yeah, it's like quite funny.
Yeah, exactly. I need to
Yeah.
watch it, dude. My wife is not going to be happy about me watching that. But yeah, Shane,
Yeah, no,
you might as well say he worked at Wells Fargo. Yeah, Wells Fargo is like the worst bank ever.
Are they? What are good banks in the States?
Dude, well, I'm not talking about like retail bank. Like I'm not talking about like opening a checking account. I'm talking about like the investment banks. And I'll say this unbiased. Goldman Sachs is number one without question.
Sure.
JP Morgan, number two without question. And there is a gap that is like absolutely gigantic. And then there is everyone else.
Sure.
I say that totally objectively. The access, and I'm not like pitching Goldman Sachs right now, this is obviously not I'm not talking about the stock. I'm talking about like the company. But
the company, yeah.
The access that you get to private equity at Goldman is unmatched.
Yeah.
Private equity outperforms all stock market, like the S&P 500, the NASDAQ, any index that you're going to buy. Private equity over whatever period you want to look at has outperformed by a significant margin. Like if I think the numbers are like the S&P returns whatever on average 10% a year or whatever it is.
Yeah, it's something like that. Yeah, 10.
Private equity returns 50% more. So they're at like 15% per year or something like that. And you also have better tax treatment. It's like there's a million reasons why if you have access to quality private equity funds, you should be in there. And the reason that Goldman Sachs the reason that they stand out so much is number one, they hire the best people in the world. Like the teams are absolutely insane. The access to the resources are insane. The private equity is insane. The access to private equity is absolutely unmatched across the board. JP Morgan gets the second best deals in terms of private equty, and the second best
IPOs
access.
and stuff like that too.
Yeah. Including IPOs. The clients at Goldman get access to IPOs, but everything outside of JP Morgan and Goldman are just like not even in the same realm, to be honest. In my opinion, I don't know. I might be wrong. I mean, maybe things have changed, but Goldman Sachs is without a doubt, in my opinion, the number one. And they just have like this culture of like excellence. Like it's just like I don't know how else to put it.
No, there's two banks in South Africa as well that are pretty well. I'd say one bank, but yeah, they do private equity and everything like that as well.
Yeah, well, I'm sure that the access to the deals are not the same.
No, I'm obviously in South Africa. We leave our stock market alone.
Yeah. But yeah, that's why when you say Morgan Stanley, I'm like, dude, it's not Morgan Stanley. Like, it's not even in the same category. Or like Citibank. Like Citibank is a huge name, but like, it's not JP Morgan. It's not Goldman Sachs.
Sure. Yeah. No, fair enough.
Yeah.
No, they definitely don't get, the South African banks definitely don't get the same access.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. I mean, looking at this trade,
dude, it's bouncing.
I'm happy with this trade, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, I'm taking a little bit of a bounce with the lows up 40 points. Yeah. I mean, I'm done for the day, bro. Personally, I'm happy with that. Yeah, I'm definitely happy with my execution. I'm happy with my execution yesterday too. I mean, I took the loss first, and then on stream on my stream that I'm on. And then I came on stream with you, and I was like, I even told them, we had a call after I took a loss on stream with Austin and the guys, and I was like, dude, I'm shorting this again. Like, I'm either shorting NASDAQ or ES again, and boom, it happens. And yeah, I'm happy with the execution day by day. I think you just always got to have work-ons. Something that's helped me a lot this week is I haven't really looked lower than a 15-minute time frame, bro. Literally.
That's tough for me. That's definitely hard for me to do. I don't like to. I don't like to execute. I don't like to enter on a 15-minute. I think it's too high.
Sure. I've watched it for so many years that I'll pop down to the 5 for a couple seconds just to see what's happening. But the 15 minutes, and then I will go to like a 5 minute just to see what the hell is actually happening. But I agree with you, like execution wise, 15 and 5, I'll still be able to enter on a 15-minute chart just by what I like.
Yeah, bro. I mean, even if we go to the EMAs quickly, I never use EMAs, but like today is the perfect day to use EMAs because on these days it pulls back, it bounces, rejects, and like if you can catch the move on these types of days, you just like at this point there's no reason to close if you're using EMAs going along with the bias from the screener here. So 75% of all the results on the screener bias is bearish today for the major market movers. So you scroll down, and again, just for anyone who's not familiar with what this is, what I like to do for this, the screener feeds live data through the reports to give you a broad market picture on what the data-backed bias is today. So looking at the opening candle continuation, you can see that we have 16 different tickers in here, all being fed. The live data is being fed to tell us that right now, the only 2 out of 16 that have a bullish opening candle or a bullish bias are Microsoft and Meta. Everything else has a bearish bias today. Scrolling down to the IB, everything is either bearish or no bias yet. Going to IB by rejection, almost everything except 4 are bearish. Previous day's range, everything except 4 are bearish or neutral. So obviously, you should not be looking to catch the bottom here. You want to be a contrarian, that's fine. You are going against the data. And I don't use EMAs. I've never used EMAs. I don't like the way that they work because on a day like, specifically, just on a day like this, you get kind of burnt. I don't really like this. Obviously, yesterday was extremely choppy, but even if we go one day back, when it crosses over too many times, I don't know. It's just, I haven't found something that I like as it relates to EMAs, but I know that you can use them as a gauge of, okay, we're above the 50, we're above the 21, we're above the 9. That's obviously bullish. Like the momentum is there. But here, if you're short, like this is a fantastic day to just keep holding and holding and holding and holding. So yeah, it's
yeah, I'm watching the chat here. Someone's asking, how can we get the live stream on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays? So André and I stream live on Mondays and Fridays. Mr. Zink streams live Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays. So you can get on his stream there.
And he's a savage too.
Yeah.
He is a savage trader.
Yeah, he's a good trader. I've watched him a couple of times.
Dude, he's a beast. Yeah, you can go to our YouTube, go to our Twitter, and wherever you're watching right now, you can watch him throughout the rest of the week. We do have live streams every single day, so that's obviously very key. But let me just remove these because I don't like to have EMAs on. But yeah, I mean, like, if we look also, one other thing that I was showing you guys before was IB by levels, bearish continuation. So I was showing you guys pre-market my templates. So over here, IB by levels, bearish 0.1. I have my default settings, or not my default settings, my template settings to increments of 0.1. So in order to see this on your chart,
yeah.
Okay.
Look up.
So here, one sec. Okay. So what do we see here? Just zooming in for a second. This report is the IB by levels. So you can see always the report name here. You can see the report name here. I highly recommend you guys bookmark this. I also highly recommend you guys make a template for breakout days versus breakdown days with whatever increments you want. I have increments of 0.1. But what you can see is that 88% of all days that break to the downside of the IB will touch this level right here. So in terms of you're using the IB by rejection, you're using whatever all these other reports, where is your TP1? Obviously, the first break of the IB is one of them. But your second TP is going to be this 0.1. Right over here, 88% of the time it will touch the 0.1. Now the minus 0.2, right over here, it hit the minus 0.2 as well. Now the minus 0.3, 66% of the time it has touched the minus 0.3. So as we get lower and lower, obviously the odds of price continuing falls off. So by the time we get to 3 or 4 or 5, you should be at least, like now you're in the space of runners. But in this case, the 0.3 was touched, that has 66%. The 0.4 is only 60% right over here, and price is bounced. I'm not saying that it's not going to continue down. It could very well continue down. But as you set targets lower and lower, the probabilities go down, obviously, against you more and more.
Yeah.
So important to note in terms of profit targets and also in terms of reversals, right? Like if only 38% of the time, now this is counter trend, so you have to be careful, but only 38% of the time, price is going to get down here. One sec. Only 38% of the time, price is going to get down here, right? So it's a pretty big move. It would be 180 points from the IB low. Not very likely. So if it starts to creep into this area, counter trend, very high risk, you can start to look for something, some sort of bounce, right? That's the idea. That's one of the other ways to use the IB by levels report is, okay, I caught the move down or I missed the move down. I want to capitalize on reversal because I know that price is very unlikely to get to this 0.8, the minus 0.8. I will take a long expecting price to bounce. So.
Yeah. No, I think, yeah, it's been a good week of streams here on edgeful. I had a winner on Monday's stream on YM, and then yesterday NQ shorts, and then today NQ shorts as well with André. Good trading, bro. That's yeah, I think the streams have been really positive. How have you guys enjoyed it? Those in the chat.
Yeah, let us know in the chat. Yeah, I mean, again, like I know that you said this before, and like I don't want to just like gas ourselves up, but I think that you have had one red day and I have had one red day on these streams.
Yeah.
And we've also, I mean, I don't know, I actually don't think you've missed any trades. I have missed a lot of good trades.
Yeah, I'm actually sometimes too aggressive, bro. Like I'll just take it. Like if I see something like where that's my work on. Like if I see something half decent, I'm like, I'm in. You know, where it's like,
yeah,
maybe missing trades is not a bad thing. But just interesting. I had this level here drawn pre-market, which I spoke about on ES. It was yesterday's opening range low, which we are from the New York session. We are actually just rejecting that. Like this is a pretty big bounce off there. That's from the lows there. That's already a 14-point bounce. And that's why you don't sell at the lows. You know, if you've missed the move, you don't just come and short in over here. That's the sucker's trade, right? You've missed the move and now you're trying to get back in. It's the same. Like look at YM as well. You don't want to be in that. You want to be in the flush down.
Yeah, exactly.
Same. Look at NQ bouncing as well. But we didn't reach previous day's lows on NQ though. But yeah, I think we can call it in the next couple of minutes. Yeah, Andrew. I think it's been a pretty good stream, bro. You know,
yeah,
great.
It's been good. Yeah, at 11 we'll call it. The responses here for the streams is great, which is awesome.
Yeah, look at that.
I see another one. Appreciate the streams so much. If we can ask Santa to have you do this Monday through Friday, every day of the week, that'd be a lot. I think that.
I think the Morgan Stanley guys would be up to it.
Dude, the Morgan Stanley guys are terrible, honestly. No, they're great. But
what level is the service priced at? Are you talking about the edgeful? Maybe you can speak on the edgeful membership as well for the guys that aren't subscribed.
So let me kind of cover everything that's included in edgeful.
Yeah.
Right now, edgeful is $49 a month. There's no trial, there's no discounts, there's nothing. So please don't ask for any discounts. We will never do a discount, not Black Friday, not Cyber Monday, not Christmas, not July 4th, not New Year's, nothing. The only discount that we have is 20% off the annual plan, which means you pay for the year up front. That is the only discount that we have. So $49 a month. It is I will go over the features. I'm not going to tell you what I think about the price. I'll go over the features. On this sidebar, this is really going to be the main place for you to focus. Starting with the Get Started page, there's a full walkthrough of number one, all the features, but also we do have 2 videos right off the bat to tell you how you can take a trade using the reports. The same thing that we're doing here on the live streams. We show you how we're using the data in our trading every single day. The same thing applies here. How do I pick from a few reports to actually take a trade? Ultimate bullish setup, ultimate reversal setup. These are 2 right off the bat. Chapter 1 of your onboarding. So we want to get that out of the way. We want you to understand how to apply this to your trading. Then we have the reports. I'm going to get to edgeful AI in a minute. I'll go over here. We have futures, stocks, Forex, and crypto. Most of you only trade one, but of the asset that you trade, we have every single ticker that you can imagine, except crypto. We are not going to have meme coins in edgeful. So there's that.
Meme coins.
We have over 100, I think now we have 150 reports. Each of them are customizable. You have, as part of the plan, as part of the $49 a month, you have the ability to request for us to build a report into edgeful. James has done 3 or 4 of them. The opening candle continuation report, which is one of the most popular reports we have, I'll actually keep this up as I'm going to keep that up as I go through this, that comment right on the bottom of the screen. As part of the plan, you can request a report. So the opening candle continuation was requested by a user and now is one of the most popular reports and one of the strongest reports that you can use for daily bias every single day. So you can request, hey, I have this idea. I want to know how often this happens for every time this happens. You can do that. You can request for us to build you a custom trading view indicator. So the same thing here, like we've been building high time frame candles, the initial bounce, the sessions, all the other things, the VWAP that I showed you before. As part of the plan, you can request us to build this. You can request us to build a feature. The what's in play, which I'll get to now, which will load in 1 second, was actually because people were asking us, okay, great, I see the gap fill by weekday is a very high probability, but I don't really know when it's actually setting up. Can you build something that will tell me when it's setting up? Yeah, that's where the what's in play comes from. We will now tell you, and this is another feature, we will now tell you when each of your favorite reports are setting up on your favorite tickers with the associated data and the bias and the target. So you go to the data, you find what you like. Now you go to the what's in play, and it will tell you what to focus on every single day. So you see the A+ setups, and you avoid the C- setups right over here. Now the screener is another feature, which will give me a second while this loads. The screener gives you a data-backed bias every single day based on the major market movers. So I'm going to refresh this one more time. Here. If you look at the screener today and you add in the top 10 weighted stocks in the S&P and the NASDAQ, and you use the daily bias template, you're going to see that 75% of all of the results are bearish today. So for the people who are trying to continuously catch, and you can see the range today on NQ was 300 points. For the ones who are trying to catch the bottom over and over again, you're going against the data. Now, this doesn't mean that price is not going to do this now, but you are going counter trend. You are going against what all the major market movers are doing. right? So if we look at the major market movers, this is not all of them, obviously, they're all in a downtrend. If you're going to buy, it has to be a scalp, right? You don't want to expect something like this to happen for all of the reasons that we probably covered today in the stream. So that's 3 things that I've mentioned so far: the reports, the screener, the what's in play.
Yep.
You also have access to, I think, close to 50 trading view indicators. They are not buy and sell signals. They are all things like what we spoke about earlier. Preserving your mental capital. Super important when it comes to trading. Over here, plotting the session, plotting the IB, plotting the orb, plotting your extension levels from the IB by levels report. You should not be doing this manually. Eventually, you are going to make a mistake, and it is going to cost you money. If you use the indicators, there's no chance of making a mistake, right? The IB is plotted correctly every time. If you move it around, nothing happens. You can't move it. You can't delete it by accident. I mean, if you can obviously hide it from your charts, but you can't delete a line. You can't accidentally move a line. It's all there for you, done, so you can focus on execution, not on drawing lines on your charts. So that's 4. Now we also have algos, which is not part of the $49 plan. You can go over here to the algos page. There's a video on it. You can obviously ask us any questions in the chat about the algos here. And then we have edgeful AI. Edgeful AI right now is pretty much like a super customer support person. We're building, honestly, an extremely impressive, in my opinion, I'm like blown away at the performance of it. But the ability for you to ask questions about reports and combine different reports. So what you can do, like today, tell me every time that the opening candle is red on NQ, that price breaks the IB low and it touches the minus 0.3 extension. And it will go through and it will actually tell you, okay, for every time that this happened and this happened, there was a 78% chance that price touched this level. For every time that there's a gap up and a bullish outside day, 85% of the time, prices reverse down to touch both. So you can now combine, very soon, you'll be able to combine multiple reports using edgeful AI. Honestly, I am completely blown away at the performance. I've tried to break it so many times. I've tried to get it to give me the wrong answers. With the way that we've built it is, I mean, even I'm shocked. Like, I honestly, like, even I'm shocked at the results. I've tried to break it. I've tried to trick it. I've tried to get it to give me the wrong answer. It hasn't done it. It will give you wrong answers eventually, depending on how detailed your questions are. But I am extremely impressed, honestly, and not to like say that it's going to be perfect forever, but the way that we've built it is just like truly unbelievable in my opinion. But outside of that, we have a ton of free content on YouTube. We have obviously the free live streams. We have a Discord that you can join, which is also free. We have a newsletter that you can get for free every Saturday. We send to Stay Sharp. And dude, what am I missing here?
Yeah, and just the streams. I think there's also what you get part of it, and in the Discord as well. So make sure to join the Discord. The Discord's obviously free. But I mean, the thing I love about edgeful, bro, and you know, is that you can actually build a system because everyone's, you know, I think everyone comes into trading and it can be very subjective. Oh, bro, did you see that that order block or whatever? And I'm like, that's cool, but like, what's the data behind it? And this is where you can actually build a system backed by data, not by what your friend says or what André says or what I say, but actually like, no, this is what the stats say. That's why I'm taking the trade.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So
it's I know so many people, dude, that will, unfortunately, what sucks actually about, I think, the internet is that the people that complain are always the loudest and the people who are happy never talk.
yeah,
that's the part that sucks the most, because like anyone, like you see these people and there's like one thing that they don't like or whatever, something happens and they're so they complain so much and they're so loud about it, and then everyone that's like, this has changed my trading, I can't believe it, I don't know what I would ever do without it. Like the DMs that I get and the messages that we get to like the edgeful email are like the nicest messages ever. This has completely changed my trading. Thank you so much. Please keep doing what you're doing. Like what whatever it is, right? All of the nice messages, but it's all private. Like anyone who says that type of stuff is always in private. It's never in public, which is fine. Like whatever, I'm not going to ask them to publicize it. But yeah, they're called trolls and haters.
Yeah.
It's just, that's like the one thing that's like unfortunate is the people who complain are always the loudest, which is, I think, part of the world. I don't think it's like anything specific to.
No, it's what it is.
Yeah.
No matter what you do, bro, you're gonna get people saying things. But we can actually call it in the next couple of seconds. But we appreciate you guys coming on stream as always.
Yeah, they work at Wells Fargo.
That's funny.
So great stream today. Great way to end the week. I'm very happy with the streams recently. Honestly, I know that Zinc has been crushing too.
Yeah. Look at this bounce as well as we end
pretty
off
crazy to be honest.
Yeah. It's good trading, Andre. I always appreciate being on stream with you. And then guys, I appreciate you guys joining too. Make sure to subscribe, like, comment, whatever it is. And we'll see you on Monday. Andre and I'll be live on Monday.
Yeah.
Yep. Cheers, everyone.